The Factors of Chess Success, third lecture. Here's a question for you. What causes anything to happen? For example, what causes a ball to come down when you throw it up? The answer is gravity. How do we know it will happen? The answer is law. There are laws that govern everything. Television works because of a set of known laws. A bird can fly because of a set of aerodynamic laws. In fact, everything that works by conforming to the relevant laws, and anything that doesn't work fails because of a law that wasn't taken into account. We can see this principle of law at work in our own chess games. The goal of a player is to checkmate the opponent's king, and this can only be done by attacking play. But there is a chess law discovered by Steinitz which says that an attack is only appropriate if a player has an advantage in position. So in our games, we try to get an advantage in position, then to attack, then to checkmate, in that order. Our success is assured so long as we obey the laws which operate on the chessboard, and we improve as players when we open our minds to the truth of the chess laws. Of course, it's not always clear exactly which laws are applying to a particular situation, and in many areas of life the precise laws have not yet been completely worked out. This is especially true regarding the workings of the human mind. We are still far from realizing our true potential, because it's often unclear which laws are to be followed. Many researchers of the mind accidentally break some law and so suffer failure in some respect of their lives. For example, the most brilliant chess player may be a failure in his own mind because he is isolated by his attitude, not by his success, as he may believe. If he had developed his ability in tune with his other personal needs, he could have a balanced and happy inner life. Chess can become an end in itself. Karpov has said that the final analysis, all chess players are only learning to play better. But in this course you are using chess in a way that benefits your whole life. Your art develops in harmony with your other qualities, adding to your experience of life. Each player has his own unique style, a unique understanding which needs the right balance of experience, study, and reflection if it's to grow. This course is designed to help you achieve that balance by working in cooperation with the natural laws which govern human achievement. One of these laws is the law of visual creation. Everything starts off as an idea. More specifically, it starts off as an image in someone's mind. The ability to create images in your mind will be an important factor of your chess success. The clearer and more real these pictures are to you, the quicker they will come from a mind level to the outer physical level. So during this course, I'll be recommending that you work hard at developing the ability to create crisp mental pictures. You'll learn how to employ these pictures as we go on, but let's learn to develop them first. We're going to use a technique of mind training designed to help people remember lists of items. The system works by bringing the list alive in the mind by associating each item with a number in an imaginary picture. This system is called memory pegs because in a way they're like coat pegs. Only instead of hanging your coat on them, you hang something you wish to remember. Now, although this system was designed as a memory aid, and although you may find it useful to remember lists of items, this is not my concern. We use memory pegs only to develop the ability to create crisp, well-defined mental pictures. I can't stress too strongly that the pictures you hold in your mind have a very powerful effect on the whole of your life, and that using the memory pegs helps bring this power under your conscious control. Okay, let's get down to it. I'll now describe the memory pegs, which will be with you forever. I'll call out the number, the word associated with it, and then I will describe the picture to be created in your mind. And as I do this, I'd like you to look at the accompanying list, which shows the number, the name of the memory peg, and a matchstick type drawing of the picture you are to create in your mind. Start now. Number 1. The memory peg is tea. Imagine a large cup of tea about the size of your living room. In the cup is a large amount of tea, and standing at the very center of the cup, under the level of the tea, is you, with one finger sticking up in the air to indicate that you've just gone under for the first time. This is the image. So if I say 1, you will be able to remember tea and see this picture. Number 2. The memory peg is Noah. You see an old man with a long white beard standing in front of an ark. He is inviting all the animals to enter the ark, 2 by 2. He is holding 2 fingers up. Number 3. The memory peg is May. The image is a May scene, with a maypole and 3 little girls dancing round the maypole. The 3 little girls have 3 letters written on their outfits. M-A-Y. Number 4. The memory peg is Ray. See a window with 4 panes of glass. Rays of light are shining through the window, making a pattern on the floor in the shape of the 4 panes. Number 5. The memory peg is Law. The image is of a policeman standing in the middle of the road, holding up his hand for you to stop. There are 5 fingers on his hand. Number 6. The memory peg is Jaw. The image is of a wrestler with a very large jaw in the shape of a 6. His mouth has 6 teeth in it. Number 7. The memory peg is Key. The picture is of a key in the shape of a 7. There are 7 teeth on the key. Number 8. The memory peg is Fee. The image is of a bag in the shape of an 8. The bag is full of pieces of 8. Number 9. The memory peg is Bay. The image is of a bay in the shape of a 9. Number 10 is Toes. The image is of your own 10 toes. Number 11 is Tot. The image is of a tot, a small child with long, thin legs which look like the number 11, and he's asking a bartender for a tot of whiskey. Number 12 is Tin. The image is of a tin of baked beans, with the side of the tin being the number 1, and the label of the tin making the round part of the number 2, the bottom of the tin making up the tail of the 2. Number 13 is Tam, referring to the tam o' shanter, the Scottish cap. The bottom straight part of the cap being the 1, the bulbous part of the cap being the 3. Number 14 is Tar. Imagine a road system made of tar. You have an aerial view of this road system. The road on the left is the 1, and the roads to the right make the 4. Number 15 is Tail. Imagine a squirrel sitting up on his hind legs, the body of the squirrel being the 1, and the tail in the shape of a 5. Number 15 is Tissue. Imagine a box of tissues, with one tissue coming out of the hole in the top of the box, using the left-hand side of the tissue as a 1 and the right side with the hole as a 6. Number 17 is Tack. Imagine a hammer hitting the head of a tack, the hammer being the shape of a 7 and the tack being the shape of a 1. Number 18 is Toffee. Imagine 2 pieces of toffee wrapped in wrapping paper. The first one is long and thin like a 1, and the second one is short and squat and fat like an 8. Number 19 is Top. Imagine a spinning top. The left side represents the 1, and the right side represents the tail of the 9, and the top of the spinning top represents the circle part of the 9. Number 20 is nose. Imagine someone with a big nose. The left eyebrow and nose being in the shape of a 2, and the right side, the right eye, wide open, representing the 0 of the 20. Number 21 is knot. Imagine a square knot, tying 2 pieces of string together, laid down in the shape of a 2, and the other is straight up in the shape of a 1. Number 22 is nun. Imagine 2 nuns kneeling down and praying, each kneeling in the shape of a 2. Number 23 is gnome. Imagine a fat little gnome, his stomach and large feet being the 2, and his large beard being in the shape of a 3. Number 24 is Nero. Nero was the emperor of Rome at the time that Rome burnt. The story goes that Nero played his fiddle while Rome burnt. So imagine an emperor of Rome playing a fiddle while flames are going up all around him. His chest, stomach, legs, and feet represent the 2, and the fiddle with the bow going across it in the shape of a 4. Number 25 is nail. Imagine a piece of wood with 2 nails going into it, but a little bent. The first in the shape of a 2, the second in the shape of a 5. Number 26 is notch. Imagine a gun in the shape of a 6, with a notch cut into the handle in the shape of a 2. Number 27 is neck. Imagine a swan, the neck and body being in the shape of a 2, and the wings being the shape of a 7. Number 28 is knife, the long curved blade and hilt being the 2, and the short stubby handle being the 8. Number 29 is nap. Imagine someone lying on the bed with their knees up, taking a nap. The person looks like a 2, and the bed is in the shape of a 9. Number 30 is mice. Imagine the 3 blind mice with no tails. Their 3 tails have fallen down in the shape of a 0. Number 31 is mat. Imagine a cat sitting on a mat. The rounded shape of the cat being in the shape of a 3, and his tail being the shape of a 1. Number 32 is moon. Imagine a quarter moon in the shape of a 3 and a 2 put together. Number 33 is mum. Imagine a female shape of a mum, being the 2 3s put back to back. Number 34 is mower. Imagine a picture of one of these new fly mowers, with the fly mower section being the shape of a 3 and the 4 being the engine and the handle of the machine. Number 35 is mail. Imagine a mail truck with very large fenders in the shape of a 3, and the body of the mail truck being in the shape of a 5. Number 36 is match. Imagine someone with a cigarette in their lips, which are shaped like a 3, and someone lighting it with a match in the shape of a 6. Number 37 is mic, representing a microphone. Imagine someone with large lips in the shape of a 3, singing into a microphone in the shape of a 7. Number 38 is movie. Imagine someone who is fat and podgy looking into an old-style camera with 2 spools in it in the shape of an 8. Number 39 is map. Imagine a picture of a map of England, Scotland, and Ireland. Northern and Southern Ireland make up the shape of a 3. Scotland is the circle part of the 9, and the east coast of England is the tail of the 9. Number 40 is rose. Imagine a picture of a rose where the petals are closed, and the lines that are created make a 4, and the closed shape of the flowers makes the 0. Number 41 is rat. Imagine a rat with a long pointed nose to represent the 4, and his front leg being the bottom part of the 4, the 1 being his tail. Number 42 is rain. Imagine that it is raining quite hard, and that lightning is coming down. 2 streaks of lightning are creating a 4, and then 1 comes down in the shape of a 2. Number 43 is ram. Imagine that a ram is chasing after a man, the 4 being the legs of the man, and the 3 being the horns of the ram as he chases. Number 44 is rower. Imagine 2 men in a boat rowing with oars, and the oars hanging over the side of the boat create the shape of 2 4s. Number 45 is rail. The image is of school railings. At one point, the railings have been bent into the shape of a 4 and a 5. Number 46 is roach. Imagine a fish. The mouth is the round part of the 6, and the fin is in the shape of a 4. Number 47 is rake. Imagine a man sitting in a garden with a rake in his hand. He has 1 foot up so his legs form the figure 4, and the rake in his hand is in the shape of a 7. Number 48 is roof. Imagine a house with the roof in the shape of a 4 and the smoke coming out in puffs, shaped like 8s. Number 49 is rope. Imagine a cowboy dancing with a rope. His legs doing the dance are in the shape of a 4, and the lasso is in the shape of a 9. Number 50 is lass. Imagine a young girl with a lovely round face in the shape of a 0, and a hairstyle in the shape of a 5. I'll now show you how this system might be used to remember a shopping list. The list might be as follows. Number 1, a pound of butter. Number 2, a loaf of bread. Number 3, a pound of minced beef. Number 4, a head of white cabbage. Number 5, 6 tomatoes. Number 6, a cucumber. Number 7, a jar of pickles. Number 8, a head of lettuce. Number 9, a pound of cheddar cheese. Number 10, 2 pints of milk. Okay, let's start at the beginning. What I would do is associate the 1 pound of butter with the cup of tea by imagining that the butter was floating in the tea, and my job was to pound it once. You can see me floundering around in the tea, can't you? Okay, number 2, Noah. I would associate the loaf of bread by imagining that Noah was stopping 1 loaf of bread from walking up the gangplank. He's saying animals only. Number 3, May. I'd associate the 1 pound of minced beef with May by seeing the knob on top of the maypole becoming a 1 pound hamburger. Number 4, Ray. I would see the head of white cabbage associated with the window by imagining that someone was throwing the head of cabbage through the window. Number 5, Law. I'd see 5 of the tomatoes stuck on the fingers of the policeman, and the 6th being rubbed on his nose. Number 6, Jaw. I would see the wrestler wrestling with a cucumber and losing. Number 7, Key. I would see the jar of pickles with a large keyhole in the side. The only way to open the jar is to turn the key. Number 8, Fee. I would see the head of lettuce being inside the bag which we thought contained money. Number 9, Bay. I would see a ship made of cheddar cheese in the bay. Number 10, Toes. I'd see myself being able to carry 2 bottles of milk with my toes. Now, when you've used this technique to remember a list, you may decide to forget the list after you've used it. It's entirely up to you. You would, next time you wish to remember a list of items, use the same memory pegs, and it works just as effectively. Now, I've already discussed the necessity of being able to create pictures in your mind. As part of the next interplay exercise, you will create a visual screen somewhere in your special inner place. You will first use this screen to visualize your memory pegs. Then you'll use it to help solve some problems you have with your chess play. The screen may be any size you like. The only stipulation is that you should not use your eyelids as the screen. You might like to make the screen 100 feet wide by 50 feet high so that you don't forget to use it regularly. Or you might like to make it the size of a television so that you're reminded of it whenever you turn on your own television. Students of this method tend to be lazy about using the methods they've learned. Making your screen stand out so it's always being brought to your attention is a way to remind yourself to use it regularly. The first real benefit the screen will bring you is to solve some problem you're having with your play at this moment. Now, there are two basic types of problems: those to which you know the solution and those whose solution you do not yet fully realize. An example of the first kind of problem could be that you're always in time trouble. The solution would be to play your moves faster. Another problem of the first kind could be that your mind wanders during the game. The solution, of course, is to concentrate fully on the game for its duration. This kind of problem is fairly simple and only requires you to define your negative situation. The second type of problem, the kind that you don't yet realize the answer to, could be: how can I discover which kind of opening suits me best? Or how can I become a chess master? The technique for this second type of problem is a little more complicated to explain. So for the moment, we'll consider the first kind of problem only. In order to deal with any problem of the first kind, the procedure is as follows. Stage 1. See the negative situation as it is now. Stage 2. Decide that you do not wish it to be that way. Stage 3. See the positive solution that you have decided will be. Let's take each stage and expand on it. Stage 1. See the negative situation as it is now. Let's say that you're always in time trouble, so that you lose on time even in good positions. What you must do is see images of these things happening along with all the negative results of your actions. A flag falling just as you're about to deliver mate, your teammates being disappointed in you, and so forth. This will clarify the negative situation for your mind so that it can take the necessary steps to change it. Let's face it, if you don't clarify the problem, how can you hope to solve it? Stage 2. Decide you do not want it to be that way. This is a short but imperative step. Your mind is very simple. If you do not take this step, you may end up with two states existing at the same time. For example, you may have time on the clock, but still rush your moves rather than thinking them through with a sensible amount of time. Stage 3. See the positive situation as you have decided it will be. If you only follow stages 1 and 2 correctly, knowing the problem and deciding you want it changed, all that will happen is that the old pattern of thoughts will come back, and so will the old problem with your play, reinforced with the thought that you can't change, and so will never be rid of the problem. So see a clear image in your mind of the way you have decided it will be. Every detail should be clear in your mind and should be exactly as you want it to be. During a game, the player sits at the board and sees many positions. Not the position on the board, but the position in the variations he is calculating. That is, he sees blindfold. Botvinnik considers that all outstanding players must have the ability to visualize in this way. Botvinnik goes on to say that He also uses this method to solve any problem in his life. That is, when confronted by a situation which is not as he wishes it to be, he visualizes it being as he intends it to be. Botvinnik therefore describes himself as a visionary. Through the power of visualization, Botvinnik overcame all obstacles and achieved the goals he set himself. He was a world-class player for 40 years, and actually world champion from 1948 to 57. Then again from 1958 to 60. And then again from 1961 to 1963. He introduced new methods of study and analysis, which are now used by all top players. By his attitude, he inspired a host of Soviet players to follow his example, so making the Soviet Union the strongest chess-playing nation in the world. Yet Botvinnik also found time to gain a doctorate in electrical science and to pursue a career in electrical research. No wonder Botvinnik called his autobiography Achieving the Aim. And he did it all through his ability to visualize, combined with the other success factors such as hard work, love of truth, and so on, that are dealt with elsewhere in this course. It is essential to your success that you should develop the ability to visualize, and that you should use this ability in a way which will guarantee your improvement. That is why you should practice the memory pegs, however bizarre it may seem at first. Do you know the difference between a magnetized bar of steel and an ordinary bar of steel? The poles of the individual molecules of the magnetized bar of steel face in the same direction, and therefore the magnetic fields of all these molecules combine to form the overall magnetic field of the steel. A lesson can be learned from the three stages represented here. The positive pole of the magnet represents the positive thinker. His thoughts are always in one direction, positive. Everyone he comes near is attracted to his way of thinking. They become positive for a while after he leaves them. This is the aura of success which hangs around those who have developed a positive attitude. For example, Fischer's magnetic aura was sensed by everyone he played. Andrew Saltes told how, playing Fischer, you just know he's going to win, even when he's at a disadvantage. The negative pole of the magnet represents the negative thinker. His thoughts are always in the same direction, negative and self-destructive. Everyone he comes near senses his aura of failure, which hangs around him like a dark cloud. People who associate with him become negative for a time after he leaves. He has a negative influence on them. The non-magnetic bar of steel represents the average thinker. His thoughts don't go in any one direction. They are random, in all different directions. Therefore, he has no ability to attract others to his way of thinking. His thoughts are influenced by the positive and negative thinkers. His actions are then influenced to help the positive and negative thinkers to achieve their objectives. What type of thinker are you? Do you influence, or are you influenced? There are two things you must do to prepare for the interplay exercise. First, make a list of all the qualities that you feel are yours as a player. Whatever comes to mind. Head the list, I am. Make sure that the list is a completion of the sentence, I am. That is to say, I am a good endgame player. I am a fast player. I am a nervous player. And so on. Make the list a minimum of 40 I ams. But don't stop at 40 if you can think of more. Make the list as long as you like. It is very important that you should write down your own thoughts. The second thing you're to do is select and write down the problem that you have decided to solve. This problem should be one that you know the answer to. A great deal of research has gone into the style and presentation of the interplay exercises. At a certain point in the forthcoming interplay exercises, you will be asked to breathe in a special way. It is very simple. All you do is hold your breath while words are spoken, and breathe either out or in while there is silence. It'll go something like this. Breathe in very slowly, hold and listen. Breathe out very slowly, hold and listen. Breathe in very slowly, hold and listen, and so on. Remember, breathe during the silence, hold your breath while words are spoken. You will not be using this special breathing throughout the entire interplay. You will begin to use it only when you are told, start the 4-second breathing. You will return to normal breathing when you are told, return to normal breathing. Now, turn over the tape, and when you have completed your tasks, go through the third interplay exercise.